Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Andrew Hawks here. It is the top of the hour, and welcome to our Skyway Invest Group opportunity presentation this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been invited to this presentation because obviously there's a few things going on in the world right now. The cost of living is getting higher. There's more and more people getting ripped off by people looking at creating crypto investment scams. Obviously, as I've said, the price of living is going up. Job security is at an all-time low, and it's only going to get worse. If you are in a job that can be automated in the next 10 to 15 years, it's likely that it will be. So what are we going to do then? We need to start looking at different opportunities that are available to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, this evening I've got something very, very special to share with you. And I'll get the right thing working there. So before we go into anything, I am going to read through this compliance slide, and I'm going to do that verbatim here just to make sure that we've got everything covered. So please note, we are not licensed to sell shares, as all countries have their own rules on the sale of financial products. So we must respect the laws of the land. Generally speaking, most countries allow the sale of information products without a special license. Therefore, the correct terminology that we use in our marketing is simply this. EIP stands for Educational Information Products. You can also hear them referred to as informational investment packages or investment products. We have pre-IPO private equity shares, PIPEs. That's in Australia and the rest of the world for that matter. If you didn't know, an IPO stands for Initial Public Offering. And as I've said, we refer to those as bonus equity. Do not give financial advice unless you're licensed to do so in your area of residence. Only general information is given and should be noted. Guys, you need to do your own due diligence or seek confirmation from a licensed accountant or financial advisor in your area of compliance for your country. Remember, we are not selling anything. We are giving a precious gift to the people and showing them how they can invest in their own education and receive pipes in the process. That's free bonus, pre-IPO, private equity shares in the Skyway technology. Okay, so we got through that. That's the hard part. Now we're into the good stuff. G'day, guys. My name, as I've said, is Andrew Hawks. I am a father first. I am a manager here with Skyway Invest Group. I've been here a little over 8 months. I am a Skyway co-owner. That means I own part of the technology, the same as you guys all have the opportunity to do so, and many people on the line do. I'm one of 8 English-speaking certified master profi coaches worldwide. We've just run 2 back-to-back events, and we're just about to run a third one in Perth in the coming weekend, so that's pretty exciting. I am a private investor in my own right. That means I invest outside of Skyway, and I take the knowledge that I've learnt from the education that we get here. I've been marketing online for 10 years. I haven't had a job in that time, so that kind of speaks for itself, really. And I wrote a book a few years ago called Rivers of Gold, How to Create Multiple Income Streams. I'm very, very passionate about creating multiple income streams. In fact, Warren Buffett said, if you don't have multiple income streams, you will work until you die. And he's quite accurate in saying that. Ladies and gentlemen, so this evening you've been invited here to find out about this amazing technology, Skyway. Right here in front of us, we have a gentleman, Dr. Anatoly Yanitsky. This guy is a genius, like certified genius, in fact. But he's also the inventor of Skyway technology, Yanitsky String Technologies. It is a fundamentally new transport system. It's ecologically friendly or economically friendly. No, yep, ecologically friendly, environmentally friendly. It's safe, it's comfortable, and it's significantly cheaper compared to all existing solutions. Now, it's passed a range of international expert evaluations and is in a certified stage. We will go through that in a second. Now, interestingly enough, Dr. Yanitsky's been working on this technology since 1978. We're going to go through that timeline soon. But he has received a massive grant from the United Nations back in 2001. He did receive $1 million as a grant to prove his concept with Skyway Technologies, and it was proven. So obviously here we are today. We're a few years down the track, and we have now got certification on this technology, and it will be rolling out in a few countries very, very soon, imminently soon, in fact. So that's kind of exciting. He also received the Golden Chariot Award from the UN, which is basically for innovations in transport, and that was for Skyway Technology. So that is very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what you're looking at in front of you there is Eco Techno Park. It is a bit of area, a bit of land, basically 36.86 hectares in a territory in Minsk. Now, that's in Marina Gorka there, Belarus. It's the production facility and the testing and demonstration facility for our transport systems. Very, very exciting. I was out there a few weeks ago myself. It is a very, very cool place, actually. I say cool every week, but it was actually freezing while I was there. Very, very cold. But guys, just amazing to be out there, to be in that presence. There's a museum there with many of the early adopters, if you like, with their names on the ceiling, illuminated at night because they are the stars in Yanitsky's sky, which is very, very cool. So we're going to go through a little bit more of the information here. This is the high-speed Skyway. Okay, so it's an intercity passenger transportation. In fact, there's been one touted to possibly happen between Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane, which would make the trip from Brisbane to Sydney, which is a little over 1,000 k's, it would make it just over 2 hours long, which is very, very cool because it'll only cost, obviously, unless the government charges heaps for it, it potentially could only cost $20 to $30 to do that, and that's pretty awesome. The performance there, up to 500,000 passengers per day. Now, I've got some interesting information about this one that we'll share a little bit later as well. So Urban Skyway, there you can see that it is designed for short distances up to 200 kilometres, so that would be perfect between Brisbane and the Gold Coast. I keep using those as a reference because I live on the Gold Coast. I might be a Kiwi, but I live on the Gold Coast. Speeds of up to 150 kilometres an hour and 50,000 passengers per hour. That is a pretty significant payload, which is very, very cool. This one you see in front of you right now is the Uni truck. You can see cargo. It is designed for the transportation of cargo, and if we're thinking, we could think mining ore, so gold, silver, coal. But farmers could also use it to get their wheat and buck to the market and all that sort of thing, or at least out to the main trunk lines for trains or haul roads for trucks. 200 million tonnes per year and more. So that's a decent payload on that as well. The one we've got up in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, is the Uni bike. You can see there's 6 configurations: luxury, business, spacious, sport, family, universal. This thing travels up to 150 kilometers an hour as well, and you can pedal this one. So it actually builds up a little generation. A lot of electric bikes these days do the same thing, but basically this will go up to 150 kilometers an hour. They've got variations right up to 5 seats, which is very, very exciting. So a competitor analysis here, ladies and gentlemen. You can see Skyway at the top, up to 500 kilometers an hour. Again, I've got some very exciting stuff about that. Can't tell you too much, but I will tell you a little. It's a very high safety standard there, $3 to $8 million per kilometer to build. Very, very cool. Eco-friendly, can be built in any terrain. Obviously, it can go through the sea, and when I say sea, it can go through incredibly deep sea. It can go through mountainous ranges, through the jungle, through the desert. Basically, anywhere you want to build it, you can build it. Perfect for outback Australia. I'll get to that as well. So the magnetic levitation train there, the second one, that's the maglev, up to 600 kilometers per hour. It's got a high safety standard, if you like, $106 million a kilometer to build. Very, very expensive. When you think about that, over 10 kilometers, it's already $1 billion. As opposed to, $80 million. There's a big difference, right? So it's eco-friendly. It must be built on flat ground. So that's where a lot of the costs come in, through all the engineering that needs to be done to make sure that is flat and level. The next one there, Hyperloop, up to 1,300 kilometers an hour. Got a story about that as well. It's a moderated safety standard. I'm not sure I'd want to be strapped into a tin can and shot through a tube, a vacuum tube at 1,300 kilometers now. $100 million a kilometer to build. And guys, that tube must be dead straight, and it can't have any holes or anything in it. There's a lot of logistical issues that could come up with that. Again, must be built on flat ground. Monorails in there, just as an example, up to 80 kilometers an hour, so not necessarily incredibly high speed, but it says it has a high safety standard, $36 million a kilometer to build. So even if we look at that price there, if we took the lower end of the Skyway, that's like a tenth of the cost anyway. So that's crazy. Now on the Hyperloop, the Hyperloop is actually built on an old technology, like a very old technology. You might have seen it in old movies of mail rooms where they put the bills into a chute or letters into a chute and it gets sucked around the office building. Well, that's basically the technology that it is built on. Now, Unitsky actually researched this himself years ago and abandoned the research because he said it was not a feasible transport system. It wasn't going to work. So Elon Musk actually picked up Unitsky's research and continued to develop it. But by then, Unitsky had already developed Skyway, which is obviously a much superior solution. So very, very exciting times right there, ladies and gentlemen. Sustainability, we're talking a lot about environmental pollution these days. People are thinking a lot more about the environment. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? We need to be doing that because we are not doing ourselves any favor. So if we look at our cars, 1,250% environmental pollution. That's terrible. Monorails up over 250%, railway at 250%, the maglev at 250%, and of course Skyway right there actually under 100%, which is awesome. Now, just as an aside, ladies and gents, the most efficient car that's on the road right now is the Tesla. Skyway is 17 times more efficient than the Tesla. So that's interesting to note as well. So guys, this is our timeline for development. You can see there back in 1978, the technology was started to be researched. Now, that's when Dr. Anatoly Yanitsky was a young man. He was at university, and he decided that, look, something needed to change with the transport system. So he did his research and things there. 2014, they started engineering out at Ecotech Park. That was when the Belarusian government gifted them that land out at Marina Gorka. Now, guys, I didn't mention it before, but I will now. That land was gifted by the Belarusian government because the Belarusian government sees big things for this transport. They know how big it can be. So they said, guys, here's 36 hectares of land. Go build your things that you need to do there. We'll help you out where we can. We just want to be looked after when we implement this technology in our own country, and that will be starting to happen very, very soon. So you can see there, 2015, building construction there. Obviously, they started the excavations 2014. They started building 2015. And right now, right through to 2017. Guys, late 2017, around November, they actually received full certification for the Unibus, which, of course, is that one that's up there in the top left-hand corner, top right-hand corner, my apologies. So that is fully certified now in the Russian Federation. We'll go through that slide in a second and show you. But you can see there, 2017 and beyond, it says technology adoption. And also 2018, it's got a dash and then a ... because we don't know exactly when that's going to happen. The business plan says it should happen this year, which is us, well, the company goes to IPO, the initial public offering. Now, guys, if it happens this year, that is amazing. Is it likely to happen this year? No, probably not. It might happen next year. It might happen the year after. We don't know for sure exactly when that's going to happen, but the company fully intends to go public with this technology, which is very, very cool. So we are currently at stage 10. How much longer for? We're not 100% sure on that. So we usually get about 2 weeks notice before we go, but right now there's nothing in the wind to say that that's happening. So we are right in stage 10 right now. So the technology has a current valuation based on IP rights and the patents. Now, when I say that, the intellectual property rights, so basically the technology and the patents behind that, it's got a value of over $400 billion. Now, guys, that valuation was done in 2014. There's a lot changed since 2014. But the valuation, over $4 billion, guys. The shares that are available, the pipes that are available, the pre-IPO private equity shares that are available are on a par value with that. So that basically means if there was only 400 billion shares, or sorry, let me rephrase, if the valuation was only $400 billion, there are 400 billion shares. Make sense to everybody? I hope so. Remember, they're pre-IPO private equity, and you get them as a gift for participating in a great education system. We'll go through that in a second as well. Okay, more than 300 MOUs are signed with more than 12 countries. Now, an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding. Basically, those countries want to implement Skyway in their countries. That's very exciting. There's more than $60 million raised so far, a lot more than that. We're almost fully funded Ecotech Park, which is very, very amazing. Obviously, it's a fully transferable technology. Oh, we've got another beep. Okay, guys, these are some of the countries that are involved right now. We've got Indonesia up there, India, Belarus, Australia, obviously right here at home, Russia, the Ukraine, Ireland. There's Tanzania in there as well. Kazakhstan isn't mentioned there, but they're certainly involved and certainly want to go forward. What you need to know about Indonesia is it's actually been implemented through the universities there. So there's a lot of succession planning happening there as well. This is a technology that will continue to roll out over the next 30-odd years, and anyone that gets involved will benefit greatly from that. So we'll keep getting this going here. Where are we? Okay, certificates obtained by right there. That's basically the certification to carry passengers. That's an exciting turn of events for us, ladies and gentlemen. That means right throughout the Russian Federation, so anywhere that was the former Soviet Union is now able to build the Skyway and actually get, well, put it in, they can carry passengers. That's pretty cool, guys. Very, very cool. Okay, so who are we? I've mentioned the technology now. I've introduced you to Dr. Anatoly Yanitsky. Who are we? Well, guys, I mentioned right at the start, my name's Andrew. I'm here representing Skyway Invest Group. This gentleman on the screen right in front of you is Andrey. He is our CEO. Now, you can read right there, Skyway Invest Group is an educational investment portal, and it is the trademark of Rail Skyway Systems. Our mission is to educate people the importance of financial and investment education, and that's exactly what our Master Profit training is about, where we were over the weekend. Of course, you get access to the financial education as soon as you get a package in our system. And of course, that comes with a bonus of pre-IPO private equity as well. So why crowdfunding? I get asked this question a lot. I mean, this technology is amazing. So why isn't Dr. Yanitsky simply going out and getting a VC on board, a venture capitalist or an angel investor? Well, it's a very, very simple answer. He wants the people that travel on the technology, to own the technology. He's also been down that route before of the traditional funding methods, and the VCs wanted far too much equity in his company. Now, what you must understand about Dr. Dianitsky is that Skyway is simply a stepping stone for where he wants to go, okay? He wants to take all harmful industry off the Earth's atmosphere into outer space. Now, that takes a lot of money to do that. So when the VC said, well, we want this much of your company, it wasn't going to give him enough funding to start that next project and get things to outer space. So he turned that down and he went down the crowdfunding route, which meant it was good for us, right? Good for the mum and dad investors. It meant that we could actually get a stake in something and truly get ahead that would help us forever. So wealth creation education, guys, this is the key to actually getting ahead. So it's all good and well getting... Look, let me share, right? 90% of all lotto winners are broke within 3 years. In fact, they're usually worse off than what they were before they won the lotto. So if you got a whole heap of money start to come to you and you didn't know how to manage it, then that's likely to happen. And guys, I can put my hand up. That has exactly happened to me. When I was living in Christchurch, I made a heck of a lot of money in a very short amount of time, but I did not know how to manage it. And I lost it almost as quick as I'd made it. Not quite, but almost. So you can see there on the left-hand side, the ES, the BI, that is the cash flow quadrant. Most people know that from Robert Kiyosaki. Now, what that stands for is the E is for an employee, and that's where society teaches us, right? That's what the education system teaches us to be, employees. Now, maybe you become a good technician with what you do as an employee, so you think, I'm going to go out on my own, and you become self-employed. That's the S. Okay, and then if we went up to the top side of the quadrant, we've got the B, which is big business. That's any business that employs over 500 people, okay? The two sides to this quadrant, for lack of a better term, on the left is the poor and on the right is the rich, okay? So the B still requires a lot of work from you. If you've got a big business that has 500 employees, then, you know, there's a lot of logistical things to think about with that one. So we want to get ourselves through into the I, which is the investor quadrant. And all of our education points us to that. All of Skyway Invest Group's education will help you to fulfill that. And that's money that'll come in while you sleep each and every day. That's exciting. So what's in it for you guys? Well, it's very simple. An educational investment package, you can purchase one. You get access to the financial education straight off the bat, but you also get a gift of pre-IPO private equity. That means when the company goes public, you're going to have a stake in a public company. You will already have ownership in real estate in Belarus. I've already got ownership in real estate in Belarus, office blocks in Belarus. That's some pretty exciting stuff. So you can get an EIP through a one-off installment called a standard EIP, or a one-off payment, which is a standard EIP. You can also pay them off in over 10 months in installments, which is an installment EIP. And every now and then there's a promotional EIP that comes up as well. There was one over Christmas. They had the New Year's ones. It was awesome. Now, stage 10's discount range from 1 to 75 to 1 to 160. And that will make a lot more sense when we get into the next slide here. So if we have a look, financial support, everything there is mentioned in units, 10 units right up to 100,000 units. For the sake of this example here, these units are US dollars, and they're left as units on purpose, solely because if the currency changes, they can then change it and the units will stay the same. So 10 units right up to 100,000 units, 80 bonus pipes is what you get for $10. So that obviously gives you a discount of 8. You can see how that works right down through the table. Very, very simple. The one that's highlighted there, 1,000 units, that's $1,000. You would get 90,000 pre-IPO private equity shares. That's a pretty good one. Right up to 100,000 units, which gets you 17 million pre-IPO private equity shares. Now, remember what I said about what the valuation of the company was. That's kind of exciting. Okay, here's an example of our installments. Obviously, these are on the high side. The installment programs start from $10 a month, so $100, right up to $10,000 a month, so $100,000. The example here in front of you is $2,500 a month for 10 months. That's a total of $25,000, obviously. But you get a bonus for that of 3.5 million pre-IPO private equity shares. Very, very cool there. You can see there, where it's highlighted, you can see what you get. You get the professional online course, the investor. It goes right through there. Obviously, there's a little bit that you can expand on that. Business opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, you've either been brought here tonight to find out about the business opportunity or simply find out about the education packages. So if you're looking for the business opportunity, here it is. I'll lay it out for you right now. You can get 6 income streams through this opportunity. Today, what we're talking about networking. Guys, if you've ever been to a movie and recommended it to someone, you're networking. You're probably just not getting paid for it. Okay? You can share this with other people. You can share this education with people and you can get rewarded fiscally for it. Now, if you care about your family, if you care about your friends, if you care about anyone, then you can obviously share this with them as a way for them to get ahead. Let's face it. Our kids, my kids, they're not going to, unless I do something for them here like this, they're not going to be able to get into the housing market. It's going to be too tough. It's almost too tough now. So today we've got a network. Tomorrow you could become a company rep, okay? Currently I am fulfilling a role as a company rep. I've just come back from New Zealand. I run a course here on the Gold Coast a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to Perth to do one this weekend. I'm employed by the company to go and do those things. Not a huge amount of money, but still, I get a little bit of reward from that. They pay for my flights. They pay for my accommodation. Great. You can get a percentage from big contracts. So that means if you're in the area, if you've helped talk to people about these contracts, then you could get a percentage from it. Project initiation. As a manager, and we'll go through that in a second, as a manager, you can actually initiate projects. So maybe you know someone in a company that wants to put, maybe they're a developer, maybe they're the CEO out at Movie World. That's arbitrary, I get that. But maybe that's the case, and they want to put a unibike or a unibus around their complex. Well, if you initiate that, then you're going to get a payment from it as well. In the future, guys, this is the original reason why I got in it, the IPO, the initial public offering. Obviously, there's so much more to this moving beast, if you like, than just the IPO. So that's in the future. Hey, could be 3-5 years. We don't know. But I'm sure it'll be worth it in the end. Dividends. Now, this is a key, guys. This is the best one. This is why you will be in that I quadrant, because there'll be money coming in day after day after day. Well, quarter after quarter, actually, because the payments will come out every quarter. But let me put it into perspective for you. Elvis Presley's been dead 41 years this year in August. His estate still receives millions of dollars each and every year from royalty income. Now, okay, royalties and dividends are slightly different, but they're based on the same principle. So as long as this company is still building track, and they will be for the next 30 years at least, as long as they've still got passengers, which they will have. I mean, look at British Rail. They've still got passengers, and the Stevenson family is still getting paid 5 generations later. These dividends will continue to come in each and every year, year after year. In fact, they will increase each and every year. So that's very exciting. Guys, there's a couple of ways. Going back to what we said about before with the standard EIPs, obviously you can get started for as little as $10. But if you're serious about building a business, then you can look at the express qualifications. Right now, as of today, the consultant went up to $4,000, but you still receive 400,000 pre-IPO private equity shares, according to the back office. Okay, you get free master profi training with $1,300. That means you get to come and hang out with people like me for 3 days and go through the intense training. Now, anyone that's been to that training will tell you it is amazing. There's unlimited earning potentials. I'll go through that in a second for you and explain that. You're a business entity. That means you can go out and do public presentations, if you like, meetings for multiple people, which is exciting as well. There's also an express manager qualification. So as an express manager, you get 3 million pre-IPO private equity shares. You get free master profi training with $1,300, the same as you do with a consultant, unlimited earning potentials, business entity, and guys, this is the exciting part. As a manager, you get to participate in project initiation. You must be a manager to be able to do that. You can either work your way there through the bonus plan, or you can buy your way there for $20,000. Very, very simple. So now let's have a look at the marketing plan here. On your first level, anyone you introduce, you will receive 8% from. So if they put in $250, you'll get $40. Pretty sure that's the figure. Yeah, it is. No, $20. $20. Okay, so 8%. Nice and simple. Right through to president, 8%. Second level, 7%. Third level, as a partner, you would receive 3%. As an agent, you'd receive 5% right through to president. Then on your fourth level, it drops off. The partner doesn't get anything on the fourth level, but the agent gets 4% right through to president. Nice and simple. On the fifth level, partner receives nothing still. In fact, they don't get anything else past the third level. Agent stops at fourth level. So then we start to look at consultant, and you get 3% right through to president. Once we get to our sixth level and beyond, as a consultant, you'll get between 1.5 and 3%. As a manager, 3 to 4%, and so on and so forth. You can see that. So let me explain that for you just a second. Now, as a manager, let's use that because it's nice round figures, easy to understand. If you have no managers in your structure below you, you will receive 3%. If you have one manager in your structure below you, you will receive 3.2%. If you have 2 managers, you will receive 3.5%. If you have 3 managers, you will receive 3.8%. If you have 4 managers, you will go straight to 4%. Now, if those managers are structured in the right way, that will then bump you up to leader manager. If not, you'll just continue to receive 4%. Nice and simple. Anyone that's invited you to here can probably explain that to you if you do have any issues with it. So how can you start, guys? It's really, really easy to get started. Register today. Complete your verification process. I know one of my people today did the verification for someone. They were verified within 8 hours. So that's very, very cool. I've done it before and had it done within half an hour. Guys, you can learn about the product, the company, and the business inside and out. Do I expect you to know everything overnight? No, of course not. But I tell you what, if you're going to take it seriously, you want to know as much as you can about the business. You want to know the workings of the insides and out. And believe me, there's quite a few, but that's cool. Tap into the Facebook group, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I'm a little bit tongue-tied this evening. I've just been talking too much over the weekend. So tap into the Facebook group. This is a group that is rapidly growing. People are there to help you. People are there to answer your questions and point you in the right directions. There's a lot of real good information in there. There's how to get started videos. So everything is there that you need, and you've got a great community that you can tap into. Invite others, guys. Invite others to these webinars. These webinars are run 2 to 3 nights a week. They're definitely on a Tuesday and a Thursday night, and often on a Sunday night as well at the same time, okay? So that's 7 p.m. in Queensland, 8 p.m. in Sydney and Melbourne, 5 p.m. in Western Australia, and of course 10 p.m. in New Zealand while daylight savings is still on. Once that finishes, it'll probably drop back to 9. In fact, we may move the time slightly. So guys, this here, you can see a photo up in front of you. Obviously, it's superimposed, but one of the proposed projects here in Australia is at Flinders University in Adelaide. Now, it's 500 metres of track from the hospice down to the campus. Whether that will happen this year or not, we are not 100% sure. There's a lot of projects that are on the books with Rod Hook and Associates to get started. We're just not sure in what order they'll come out. So some very exciting developments there happening there. I can't tell you too much information about it, but definitely some exciting developments happening there, ladies and gents. This one here, this is the one that gets me excited. Dr. Yanitsky was in Dubai in October last year. He did have some meetings and they said, no, we want to put the Hyperloop in. And he said, why do you want the Hyperloop? And they said, because it's faster. And he said, but it's not. And they said, but it's 1,300 kilometers an hour. And he said, but let me show you. Let me break it down for you. Let me do the calculations for you. So between Dubai and Abu Dhabi, it was indeed 7 minutes faster on a Skyway than it was on the Hyperloop. So with that in mind, the powers that be there said, well, we really like to investigate this a little bit further. So the chances are, and it's very high chances, that there's going to be a high-speed built here in the UAE. That's nothing official about that yet, ladies and gentlemen, but the chances are pointing to that right now. So that's kind of pretty cool. I mean, you look at Abu Dhabi, you look at Dubai. 15 years ago, it was a sandpit. There was nothing there. But now, look at it. It's amazing. So it's kind of like a window to the future. So it'd be very, very exciting if that happens, if and when that happens. And I'm sure we'll know more about that in the coming months. Very, very simple, guys. Beautiful, beautiful project to be involved with. So guys, opportunity summary, I'm just going to whip through those so they're all out because somebody put the build order wrong. I really should fix that. Become educated and a professional investor. Guys, that's what the Master Profi can help you with. But also the education system that's in the back office right now, that will help you on your way to that as well. Grow a business and have unlimited earning potential. When you understand this, when you get this at the full level that it is, the earning potential is beyond astronomical. You're going to set this network up. There's going to be other pre-IPO opportunities that come through Skyway Invest Group. We've got an agreement for 50 years, and Ecotech Park's almost finished being funded. So that means there's going to be another 46 years. So what projects are going to come in that time? That's really exciting to think about. Create passive income streams. Obviously, you know I'm passionate about passive income streams. Now, create a Skyway portfolio with billions. Guys, we are early adopters. We are pioneering a new system, a multi-level crowd investing system. The people that are early adopters here have the potential to literally make billions of dollars. And I don't say that lightly because I know those sort of figures scare a lot of people, but that's the potential of what we've got here. It's the reality. Help others and leave a legacy. This one's a big one for me. You know, often we say, oh, we'll leave a legacy through our kids. Yes, we do. But really, if we don't leave them anything to leave that legacy with, then we're probably not doing them the justice they deserve. So we really can leave a legacy. I mean, there was somebody at one of our events a couple of weeks ago, Chris, he wants to build orphanages. Man, that's amazing. Personally, I want to open a school that teaches people how they learn rather than what the education system says they should learn. So, or the way they should learn. So there's lots of things you can do with that. Guys, do what you love and follow your passion. And that is important because if you follow your passion, if you do a job you love, you'll never, ever work a day in your life. It's really simple. Guys, so that's me for tonight. If you do have any questions that you want to jump out and ask, now is the time to do it. I'll leave this open for another couple of minutes. And if you got a question, just jump out and ask me, and I'll do my best to get it answered. If I can't answer it tonight, I will certainly find out where I can get it for you and get it to you. No questions. I must have done an amazing job of our presentation this evening, ladies and gents. Oh, nobody's putting their hands up. I can't see any questions coming through. So that must mean that we're pretty good. So ladies and gentlemen, if there are no questions, nobody's unmuting themselves there, I am going to call it quits for this evening. 30 minutes we got from start to finish. That's not bad. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. We will run this again on Thursday evening at the same time. I will be in Western Australia, so it'll be 5 in the afternoon while I'm doing it. That's going to be a little bit different. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. Bring some people back on Thursday night. These are run twice a week, as I say. But for now, if you're new on the call, make sure you get in touch with the person that invited you to the call. Find out what your next steps are, and I'd like to be the first to welcome you to our Skyway Invest Group family. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening. Take care.